I mean, type in the chat box or come off speaker if you want. But how are your weeks? My last, the last week and a half now, I guess, it's just the last week, has been very strange. I mean, it's nothing awful. But first my husband had the bug. Then, so he had it Wednesday. And then my daughter had it Friday. And, oh, well, no, I was going to give you two TMI there. And then I had it Sunday, and then it re-emerged yesterday. And I've still not eaten anything yet today because I don't want to trigger it off. So I'm just drinking fluids for a bit. 2 days apart yet, I know, every time. So our whole week has been dominated by this damn virus, but now we're all alive. It's only a stomach virus. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, it can really suck, and it did. Especially when it came back again. I was like, I did a reading yesterday morning, okay, and I'm going to tell you my theory about this as well, actually, because this, let me get on the chart and I'll tell you, because this is kind of a bit of an astrological kind of teaching when I say this. Oh, and I think you'll find I've got the actual 9/11 chart up there, but I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to look at now. So we have all this Virgo stuff, and Virgo is health, okay, and you know, it's opposing Neptune in Pisces, and that's often very virusy and buggy, okay, and but it's also very purging because we've also got this trine to Pluto and Saturn over here in Capricorn, and then of course it's all forming this T-square to Jupiter, and I'll talk more about this in a minute. But I had two readings. I had one on Monday and I had one yesterday. The one yesterday was rescheduled from Monday because I knew I couldn't do that early Monday morning because, anyway, long story. So I've been rescheduling readings and things, but both readings, you know, and I'm not giving anything away about the clients here. Both people had real severe trauma signatures in their chart, and you know, we were looking at that, and just an example of a trauma. Well, they both had Uranus conjunct Pluto in their chart, which is often a signifier of some kind of trauma. And both needed to talk about it, you know, and both involved quite severe abuse of one kind or another, and both involved dealing with the system, the institutions, Capricorn, particularly the one yesterday. And interestingly, the one yesterday said that her daughter, you know, something came up about the abuse she'd been suffered. Hers was more severe, but it wasn't kind of the normal. It was all to do with the church in Utah and systemic abuse and all this kind of stuff. And her daughter went and had to purge physically as well. And I kind of believe that I was actually, I think it didn't go away, and I purged again because I was dealing with this really quite traumatic story, which I knew some of already, but and I believe they kind of, you know, this Jupiter is right on my Jupiter right now, so that means all this is squaring my Jupiter. The full moon, on Friday or Saturday, depending where you are, is going to square my sun, my Sagittarius sun, exactly. So it was kind of funny as I was talking to her, the second one particularly. I started kind of getting really indigestion-y and feeling the pains in the stomach really started up again. And I kind of feel like it was empathy purge, the re-emergence of the virus. So I thought you'd find it interesting, maybe too TMI, but it does help me when I can see these things in the chart, you know. I actually don't feel like it's completely gone already. You know, this is, I feel like it's better, but I daren't eat yet. It's piddling down with rain here because of all this Pisces energy starting to be triggered immensely. We had major storms last night. Everything feels very chaotic. Everything really feels like it's purging. And, you know, that's coming out in, excuse me if I'm a little bit burpy. It's still doing that. It's coming out, you know, with Brexit in the UK. I mean, that's just a shit show over there. And now they've said that the prorogation of Parliament is illegal. The Supreme Court in Scotland has said that. And you know, John Bolton was fired yesterday. Everything's kind of just really like, where is this going? So does anybody else feel like that? Yeah, well, normally I'm very good at protecting myself, Barbara, but I guess with these energies affecting my chart so strongly, I didn't feel like the misery of it, but I took it on physically. So it is what it is. It's not the end of the world, is it? You know, bit of extra trips to the bathroom, so to speak. Yeah, I can hope I can lose a few pounds. But normally I'm very good at not taking on. But I guess I'm very like a psychic sponge at the moment because this is all the Jupiter-Neptune square. It is exact next week. So my normal protection things are really kind of not... Oh, I just have to answer my husband. Okay. We're going to the soccer. LA Galaxy is coming to play in Salt Lake, so we're going to that on his company. It's fun. Anyway, I'm not a real sporty person, but it's a nice thing. It's fun there. Anyway, so I thought you'd all find that interesting, but especially when you see how it's really impacting people's charts. Okay, you see how these energies really show up. So I'm just giving myself as an example, really, there. Now I do want to find my list of aspects. Here they are. Okay. And Anne, I'll take your nursing advice. Any other advice for getting over this other than damn Gatorade? I drank a big bottle of it yesterday and I'm sick to death of the damn stuff. It's disgusting. Okay. So I was going to ask what date we were on and how could I? Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So today, you know, we've got a big week ahead, really. We're on September the 11th, of course. And Uranus is opposing Pallas Athena. Now, she is the strategist or the spear of justice, okay? And Uranus is the rebel who's breaks free and causes a few shocks and surprises. Now, they are exact. Just going to go to the exact. Later this afternoon. I would not be surprised if there's a few surprises and shocks today. Okay. I really wouldn't. This is kind of like, you know, Pallas Athena. Well, she's asteroid. She's my asteroid. She is the astrologer's asteroid too. And in Scorpio, she's likely to be revealing some big, deep information. And not only that, Uranus rules this moon in Aquarius, where we're in this massive 28, it's just over 28 hours void moon. Now, it's still a long moon, void moon, even if we count an aspect that's just occurred early this morning to Eris. She is going to be void until, oh God, excuse me if I'm not on my normal game. I really am feeling a lot better, but I have a feeling I'm still not going to be completely right for a while. It's there's a lot of stuff going on inside, you know, spiritually and things too. But not till tomorrow morning at 3:51 a.m. will the moon move into Pisces, and then we start heading into this full moon proper. Though I think we're really under the energy of it now, and so, you know, that's a shocking aspect too. The moon sextile Eris that happened kind of under the void, because the dwarf planets are not really counted as far as that yet. It's not, you know, that's that far apart really. If you think Eris is like at the farther reaches of the solar system, and the moon is the closest, aspects between them are a little bit less impactful, it kind of feels like, but I kind of count them a bit. And Uranus rules the Aquarius moon, and so that's a shake-up aspect as well. So shake up. Pallas Athena is not so much of a shocking shake-up energy, but she is one who is a strategist as well as Uranus. It's like we're coming to strategies of how to move forward with all these shifting changes and things that are going on. So, you know, for the full moon, for yourselves, I would really start to think about, you know, I know it's not a new moon, but I was saying on the podcast, in some ways, the full moons seem to have become a bit new moonish. It's like, where are you going from here on this full moon? That's such a big, immense change, because it's huge, and I'm going to go more towards that. Then we've got Mars in Virgo over here, and he's going to be exactly opposed Neptune on the full moon, so I'll talk more about that in a minute. And in the lead up to it, Mars later is aspecting, or you can see kind of like early this evening, whatever, is going to aspect the moon's nodes. And so that's going to trigger our kind of destiny. Okay, so it does have this real, it feels like we're in this kind of chaotic mess. Pisces is very birthing energy, very amniotic fluid energy. So it does kind of feel as if we're going to be really birthing something again. Oh, does it ever stop? And then also Venus, and you know, I didn't talk about all of this in the article for the day because there's so much. Venus is aspecting Vesta and Sedna, who are going to be conjunct at 27 degrees of Taurus on the full moon as well. So she's doing that later today as well. So let's go forward a few hours, and I will. Okay, about then. So really kind of overnight tonight, Venus will be aspecting these two. And I find it so interesting that Vesta and Sedna are going to be together right through this full moon, because Alan Clay, have you seen him? Have you met him, Barbara? He's kind of, in fact, it reminds me, I really must do him he asked me for a testimonial, and I must do it. But he's kind of the expert on all these planets. Okay, and I just want to read to you what he says about Sedna. So I'm just getting the planet up. I meant to have all spiritual destiny through transcendent crisis. He calls that word destiny. So I said to use the word destiny already as well. It does feel like we're reaching this point of destiny with this huge another point of destiny. Of course, we're always changing, growing, but you know, at the moment we're in this immense period of change. And here we have Vesta, the flame, the focus, the hearth, conjunct this planet that he described as spiritual destiny through transcendent crisis. And I keep using the word chaos, and you could say crisis as well, with this mutable energy that's squaring. It may not be happening in your actual individual life, but what it's always as without, you know, we are connected in this big entanglement with the universal energies, and everything that's happening in the world around us is in some respects happening within us. We feel it even if we protect ourselves. And you know, we may kind of not be directly affected too much, but we are in some ways, because whatever happens in the outer world starts to affect our life. So hopefully we're just, you know, at the point where it's kind of just happening around us, and controlling our own life. I did mention on the month ahead video that I did for $5 subscribers and up, if you've had a chance to watch it, that this period, early September, is really good for kind of planning. Like, how are you kind of going to survive if this financial collapse? You know, just where is your savings? Where are your investments? Just check it all. You know, make sure you're kind of going to be on track. You're going to be, you know, a little bit secure, creating your own security. That can also go to, you know, planting gardens, things like that, where you're creating your own um, economy, if you like, as well. There's a great deal of planning and purging of what doesn't work as well. That's all going on. But this Venus is our money and our values. I think the fact that Venus coming into this full moon, since Venus is about money and values, I think it's good to make some money plans so that we can focus to become very grounded and self-contained, which is very Taurus, in our own economy, our money. And this is not in the you know, pull your socks up, you know, don't take care of anybody else, ignore the rest of the world kind of crap. This is just being prudent and looking after yourself. Okay. Then also Mars, again leading into this full moon, is squaring Jupiter. Yay. Can you tell I'm a bit tired from all this? I've been awake since before 4 this morning too. My dog got up and I had to go and let him out. Excuse me. So yeah, I probably get my daughter's cold now as well. I never get sick. Oh, cool. How you're back? Cool. Oh, and more people are here too. Oh, Melanie's here too. Hi, Melanie, but I think she's at work. So you'll have to listen to the recording to catch up. So Mars is joining in the picture. Okay. Mars will square Jupiter, and there's going to be some aggression, some frustration amongst people. Okay. I'll cough to me being a little bit that way last night when I was feeling a bit crap. But it's all good. We kind of came to an agreement, me and the other person, to part ways on Facebook, and we actually did it really civilly in the end. But Mars is kind of saying cut things out that don't align anymore, in the purging kind of aspect. So, you know, overall, you know, really moving into this full moon is a really powerful time. And even if you're feeling a bit off and, like, you know, things that keep happening, like have happened to me, it's amazing. You're still going to have kind of this drive and will to get organized, get done, get the work done, move forward. It's like I'm up to date with the edits on the book. The book got written. So everything's going well, really, but this kind of chaos swirling around. So, just try and stay, you know. But other aspects leading into the full moon. I talked about Venus trining Sedna and Vesta. Oh, actually, incidentally, can I just go back a bit? Oh, no, I don't think that's the case. All right. Okay, sorry, I don't mean to jiggle the chart all over the place. I thought I'd just spied something else, but I didn't. Well, Mercury comes up to also trine Vesta and Sedna. So we get Mercury and Venus moving together at 27 degrees, trining that. And Mercury rules Virgo. So, seriously, I am going to my husband and I are pretty on top of it, but I am going to review a load of stuff. There's a call I have to make to the bank to follow up with something. We're reviewing our investments. We're looking to probably remortgage after the next couple of rate cuts. So we're planning for that. We're actually going to reduce our time on the mortgage, not, things like this. It's creating this more solid foundation and security and getting rid of stuff that doesn't work. I think there's an app that I keep seeing advertised that cuts out any of these monthly payments that you're making that you've forgotten about. I don't know how anybody can forget about them, to be honest, but if you're somebody like that, there's all kinds of things you can do. Just spend some time, even with the Pisces energy, to really kind of let go of some stuff that's not working, that is not on solid foundation. Okay. Then the sun, got so many aspects leading up to it. The sun is going to trine Pluto then. Sun in Virgo, trine Pluto in Capricorn. Well, guess what? Another purging aspect. If I had more energy, I'd be purging my bloody office. It's full of crap at the moment and paperwork, and maybe I will. Maybe I'll have a nap after this or something and do some throwing out of paper, because when I write a book, sound like I do it every day, it's getting that way, I tend to have all these printouts and research, and it just all piles up around me. So Sun trine Pluto is Friday. Let me get exact 20. And traditional law with astrology is that the trine is an easy aspect. Well, it can be, but it depends on the energies. And with all this other energy, we have to remember we're still all in this mutable T-square from Virgo to Jupiter. So these aspects from Virgo to Pluto are going to cause a major kind of purging energy, and a major reveals more around our institutions and all stuff like that as well. So we've got more to come. And then we have the full moon. Okay. It's I was going to get straight to it. It's very late here. It's like 11:30 p.m. or something. I'm just going to change the time. Oh, that's close enough, I think. Or is it? Oh, it didn't even edit it anyway. All right, that's better. 21 degrees. There we go. I'm a few minutes off, but it doesn't matter. And we can see we've got the moon opposite the sun. We've also got Mars almost exactly opposite Neptune. Mars and Neptune do not get along together. Everybody, especially if you're aspected by this, which I am, everybody's energy is going to be depleted. Your dreams are likely to be a little bit possibly disturbing, or at least anxiety bringing. I had dreams that a friend unfriended me on Facebook over something, and she didn't, of course, but it's that kind of there's something off kind of energy. Ceres is also opposing Hygeia on the full moon. There's going to be more kind of information about the health of the world, I think. The health of our food supply come up. Viruses could become, there could be more viruses coming around over this time. This is very kind of viral energy. You know, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen a resurgence of talk about Ebola or something at the moment. But as we see, you know, we get this big fear-based thing about it. We're all going to die, and then it all goes away. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little bit of a resurgence about it all. And then these two, Mercury and Venus, okay, having come off that aspect about this transcendent crisis kind of thing, this spiritual, what was it again, his words? Destiny, our spiritual destiny, we are moving towards it. Or at the gateway degree, the anaretic degree. Think about your values, your money system, everything, your health too, a little bit to a degree. But I think this is more about planning for your future. Everybody keeps saying there's going to be a big stock market crash, a big financial crash, whether there is or not. I think it's always good to, you know, go through a thorough inventory every now and again of where you're heading, how financially stable you are, blah, 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 what's going on. This time, the end of this week is a really perfect time to do it. And as I said, purging things that you don't need, they're not working for you. I hope none of you purge my membership, but if you do, I understand, of course. So, full moon is crazy. You know, other things to say, you know, Mercury in Virgo can be a bit anxious. It rules it, but your mind's like on the go, and then it's got this opposition to the Neptune in Pisces is so strong this time, and amplified by by Jupiter in Sagittarius. Mercury is in the sign it rules. Jupiter is in the sign it rules. Neptune is in the sign it rules. This means it's so powerful when all of them are in the sign they rule. It's all in this trine to Pluto. It's just, I would not be surprised if, you know, I'm not saying it's going to happen before the full moon. It could be the fallout after, in the 2 weeks after, leading up to the next new moon. But things are really going to fall away. I don't know what's going to happen in the UK now, when now it's that the prorogation of Parliament has been ruled illegal. And then also they've got Prince Andrew with Epstein. There's all that swimming around and lurking around too. And there's talk that the names on Epstein's list are going to be released. And I would not be surprised if literally governments could fall under this energy. You know, with the big kind of flood of release of this full moon. But any questions? I feel like I'm kind of rambling on. I do want to show you, I do want to do a bit of a Brett. I do want to show you solar system scope while we're on. I'm kind of getting used to it, how to do it. This is more Kai Patcher, he uses this one. So where are we? I'm not very good at how to move it on at the moment. But here's Earth, okay? And here we have, they're still pretty much blinded by the light. Apparently Venus is kind of visible now in some places, so she is emerging, okay, as the evening star, I believe. Am I correct? Yes. And then square, you see these are all in opposition kind of thing. Okay, and then the square over here, and then the trine over here to Saturn and Pluto. Isn't it nice to see how they kind of line up? Okay, so the sun, this is the square, Jupiter, Sun, all that. Okay. And Neptune is, where is it? I can't get it. Where's Neptune? She's way down here somewhere. Oh, I figured out how to do this the other day. She's here somewhere. All right. So I just find it interesting to see how these planets all line up. But I need to play with this more to learn how to do it, to be like a Gemini Brett who just shows all these things. So, anybody? No questions? After the full moon, Mars opposes Neptune almost immediately. So let me just go back to sharing this again. And then I said that Mercury is in Virgo ruled. Well, hours after, Mercury moves into Libra, and Venus moves into Libra. And then Venus is in the sign she rules, and Mercury is not. So they kind of swap off. We have this change of the guard, move into Libra. Things should lighten up a little bit after the full moon, like pretty much straight away, Saturday morning when those two go in. But this is the world axis. Okay. The 0 degrees of the cardinal signs, which is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, is the start of the seasons. This is the world axis, and it's also believed to be the supergalactic center as well. So I don't know. Some people think that exists. Some people think it doesn't. So, but we'll have these on what some people think is the supergalactic center, which is the galactic center is at 27-ish degrees of Sagittarius. The great attractor is at 14 Sagittarius. And these are all kind of black hole-y kind of areas of the universe that are bringing them bigger transformational changes. And the supergalactic center is over here. And so I think some new information could come through. Libra's an air sign, you know, Venus is in her own sign. This is on a Saturday, though. The markets will be closed, but there's something going to be in the news, I think, that's going to start shifting things again a little bit as we move beyond this full moon. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh, and then on the 18th, we'll go home days. Things are really going to start kicking up for the rest of the year because Saturn stations direct in a trine to the moon, and then Saturn starts approaching that major conjunction with Pluto. The two start moving towards each other. Pluto doesn't turn direct till later in the year, but Saturn moves so much faster. But Saturn will start to move and go over the South Node again. The two have been really tracking each other. But these two are going to start going really further together. And the South Node, they're going to cross over, and the South Node is going to go this way, back towards the beginning of Capricorn, and Saturn's going to go towards Pluto. But as well over here, the North Node, and I did mention it in the podcast or in the free call I did for the Planetary Cafe, thanks to somebody who mentioned it. Sirius, the dog star, is over here, and she, you know, that's an important star in Egyptian mythology, particularly. Sirius means immortality, sacred leadership, and also burnout. So we've got both of this feeling of destiny, leadership, I do think this feminine principle, or this, I'm trying to get away from that word. I've been writing this book, and this book is designed to be a cookbook for a complete astrology guide with a non-binary inclusive approach. And I'm encouraging people to move towards day and night energies instead of masculine and feminine, because we all have everything in us, and there's too much baggage around the language. And incidentally, talking of the zero, Libra with Venus and Mercury, that kind of figures as well, about switching to this new way of speaking about the balance of everything. But anyway, I'm kind of rambling all over the place. Yeah, well, I don't think it's going to be a matriarchy either. It's a balancing. I think it's more to bring more of, I think it's going to be kind of this real meeting in the middle of day and night, and everything that's been considered opposite all our lives. The patriarchal energies have been very oppositional, right? Going back to, was it Ptolemy who did the table of opposites? You can Google it if you like. He said, everything's at these binary opposites. There's day, there's night, there's masculine, there's feminine, everything's opposite. Whereas actually it's not. If we look at quantum physics and quantum wave theory and things, and entanglement theory is another one. I've been researching all of this for this book. We're deeply entangled with everything, with each other. There's nothing is as separate as it seems. I just needed kind of the language for it in the book. And so I don't think we're going back to, we're planting seeds of a matriarchy. So sorry, Barbara, no. But I do think we're planting the seeds of something very new, which is going to be very different and very inclusive into the age of the, or the potential for it is there, under the age of Aquarius, which is ruled by both Saturn, the old, Uranus, the new. It's quite interesting. I can't wait for this book to come out. Just so you know, I now see all the planets as both masculine and feminine, or both day and night. All of them. Whoa. So I'm kind of losing this kind of, it's either or. Yeah. So it's just the language we need to change. And this is the premise of this new book. And I think I've done a decent job of positing my argument about it. But it all comes back to me from the, the thing about in the beginning was the word. We shape our world with our language we use. And so it's our language needs to change. In this case, in astrology for the book, but in life too. Okay. So all these people getting upset about, pronouns. I'm not going to have to remember to call you. Our language is extremely ambiguous, and we've used it to define all along, and it's always going to be used to define. So if we want to change the world, I think we have to change the language. So, so all these people that are getting upset about, I'm thinking of Jordan Peterson, this big rant about, not being forced to use these gender pronouns. And I'm thinking, call people what they want, Language matters. If it matters to them, call them Z or Zay or whatever. I don't know all the pronouns, but if somebody tells me to call them, I don't know, Batman, I'll call them Batman. It's their choice. It's not my choice to judge. Anyway, I think I've kind of rambled on enough about the astrology. It's a really immense with this. After writing that book, I think I could do it with a straight face now. I know you are, but it made me think, could I do it? Well, maybe I'd chuckle first, but in a good humoured way, not a laughing at them way. I would kind of laugh at the way we're changing and kind of be like, I wouldn't be laughing at them, that's for sure. No. And I know you were jesting. But incidentally, before I just dive off, Saturn turns direct. Look how fast these two are moving. We were just cool. I'll call you Wonder Woman, okay? Well, Pallas Athena's Wonder Woman, so maybe I should just call myself Athena anyway. Anyway, Venus, Mercury, look how fast they're moving. Scooting along. Then this is going direct. We'll pick up speed. Then Pluto's going to turn direct. And Neptune as well. I can't remember which was first. Sorry. But things are going to get... You thought that this year had been kind of insane enough already. The speed of change is going to pick up, I think, personally, with these personal planets going fast. Mars is going pretty fast too, because they're kind of between retrogrades. Mercury we will have come slowing down again. The sun's going to start catching up. We'll have another Mercury retrograde, but really, people, let's get over Mercury retrograde, because there's a lot bigger things going on in this world. It's easy to get distracted by those little minor irritations. But Venus and Mercury will both oppose Chiron as well. So, you know, personal planets, they're emerging from the beams of the sun that they've been under for ages, will oppose Chiron. We've got some real major healing opportunities again moving forward. So, righto, so stop share. So I have been thinking about what to do. I thought about doing a drumming thing myself. And I cannot drum. I'm too tired. I've been drumming. And I don't feel like a called to do a shamanic journey right on this one. So I'll surprise you. Oh, there we go. I only want 10 minutes though. I don't want... Well, it's raining this hard. I don't really need this here, but I just want you to just sit back, close your eyes, and just relax to relaxing water sounds, rain sounds. I've actually got it out my window, but you can't hear it. So I'm just doing a 10-minute one. I just want you to, you know, things are very chaotic. Good. Okay. I don't even want you to have any intention. I just want you to sit back, close your eyes. So if you could, if you're not able to right now, come back and do it. Or if you can do it while you're pretending to work, close your eyes and listen. And you can do it again later, but make sure both your, oh, of course, but both feet on the ground. And then just to really relax, just exhale your breath fully. And allow the breath to come back in. Do that a couple of times while I move the microphone and get this water sounds set up. And I just want you to just relax and just you know, let happen what happens. Okay. Okay, if you gently come back. Barbara said it didn't sound like water to her. So I'm going to find one and post one in the group. So, bye, Barbara. So sorry if it didn't sound like water your end. I found it quite relaxing, birds tweeting and water, but Barbara's gone. She didn't like it. She came on and says, doesn't sound like water at all. So sorry if it didn't. It did to me. But anyway, that's it for today. I think I've just had my editor messaging me for some more stuff. So I'm going to go and do that and get this recording up. Thanks for being here, guys, and happy full moon. I hope you kind of take some of the advice I've given about, you know, just sorting, planning, all that kind of thing. Yeah. Well, it was water, but definitely. He'd recorded it outside, so it's very outside sounds. So running water. All right. See you later.